anything you want. I'll be able to help everybody. I've just got this kind of up in the background. So if it's anything to do with our day of just anything to do with the Solex or anything at all, I'll answer questions. And then we're going to recap on in July. I'm going to start showing how to read. I believe either in July is probably when I'm going to do it. I have one trip in July that I'll be gone. So there'll be one weekend that I won't be able to do the team training. But the other weekends, I kind of wanted to focus on showing you how to read kind of a simple read. So at least it will get you started on how to look at the scan reports and be able to help your people. So let's get back to Day of Discovery and the venue. They had said that, there's only space for 400. I know alone on my team, I think we've got nearly 50 on my team that are coming. So, but because you're signing or enrolling new people up, they're getting the Day of Discovery tickets. So I have a feeling it will run out. So if you're wanting to purchase one, get it purchased now, because I honestly don't know what they're going to do if they run out of space tickets. So, and I'm sure some of the people that enroll will not be able to come or join to Day of Discovery, but those tickets can be sold, and that's a $150 ticket. And the swag bags, you guys, are there. I mean, there's more than $150 worth of stuff there. So you're going to get a bunch of education. You're going to be in a room, and I'm telling you that I won't miss Day of Discovery because it is just simply fantastic. I mean, just being in the room with all these like-minded people and being able to, network. Maybe you need to know someone that can do a certain modality. You get to connect with all these people, and just the frequency and the vibration in the room alone is enough to be there every time. So, and you'll get to meet Lauren and Kai and Shelby and everybody at customer service. And I mean, it's just an incredible time. So, and Utah is just gorgeous. Utah is gorgeous. So, all right, guys, welcome everybody. I'm here just to we're just kind of doing an impromptu, just Q&A. If there's anything that you need help with, I'm going to pop up the scanner here in just a minute. But if there's anything you need help with, you got questions about, I feel very confident I can answer them for you. If I cannot, I will research it and get back to you. So I'm just going to open it up and just let everybody just kind of come in with their questions, and feel free to ask anything.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
I was wondering, I just got some Cepheid dots yesterday, and
Okay.
I was wondering if they can be reused. Can we erase them after we've used them for 72 hours and then reuse them with a new sticky thing over them?
I have many times. In fact, I wore one on the inside of my right leg above my ankle bone because my skin is a little drier down lower and I don't wear a lot of lotions or anything. So I wore that there for almost 4 weeks and I still felt the frequencies from it. So I'm going to say yes. Solex probably won't like me to say that, but that's what I'm going to tell you, because I can also muscle test and ask it if it can still hold frequencies, and I always get a yes. When I get, that it's about 50%, I toss it. So I will wear one for as long as I can and just change out the cover on it.
Okay, and I was also wondering if you know how they compare to LifeWave, because I have a lot of people who are doing or have done LifeWave, and I know that they're going to ask me that question. I know I saw the different names. I was just kind of going through it. I'm a little bit new to AO. I've just been doing it a few weeks. So I was just wondering if you have any thoughts, like how it compares to the glutathione patches or the X3949.
Okay. I will tell you they are completely different
Okay.
effects. Now, I wear the LifeWave patches myself. In fact, I go usually the weekend without them. I just took two of them off. I had the X39 on the back of my neck and I had a glutathione underneath my belly button. I absolutely love the patches. In fact, when I went to Solex for my very first visit, Lauren saw the patches and he goes, "You don't need to wear those. You can wear this." And you know, they had dots at that time too, but they weren't like what we have. And so then I started wearing what, you know, I picked up there, but I could totally tell that there was a big difference. And I went back to wearing the patches. I'm like, no, there's something about these patches that are way better than what, you know, what we had at the time. Now, with the dots, this is something totally different than the patches because you can imprint the dots with frequencies, but you can also imprint the patches with the frequencies. Let's say you're wanting to, you know, add a little more oomph to the X39. You can go into your Cepheid program and you can go down here to the Cepheid dots, and the stem cells are also in your cellular restore. So you can lay your X39, and what I do is I put the X39 on it with the sticker side up, and I put it on my screen, and I erase it of anything that could have attached to it because it doesn't erase the good qualities of the patch. And then I imprint the patch with the cellular restore, and there you go. So it just kind of gives that X39 a little bit more oomph for me. Um, so to answer your questions, they're both different. Does that make
Okay.
sense? I use both, and I won't go without both.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Any
a
other?
lot more cost effective.
Yeah, a little bit. I find that I don't have to use as many of the LifeWave patches that I had in the past. But guys, I've been using them on going on my 5th year.
Tammy,
So
can you mute everybody?
yes, I
You
can.
keep cutting
I'm
out.
sorry, I
Thanks.
think it's me.
Yeah, if you're banging around in the background, just mute yourself, and then when you want to come on, just unmute. What else was I going to tell you? I lost my thought. Anyway, questions. Anything I can help you with? Anything I can show you?
I have a question. Different kinds of vitamins. I noticed that supplements are coming up. Like when my daughter-in-law lived with us for a month, I scanned all her supplements in and her shakes and whatever. And a lot of her things keep coming up because they're so, like, I would say pure, like there's nothing else in it. Like I would take a multi-B vitamin, but hers is just B6 and 12 drops. And
Okay.
so what companies have you found to be the best ones? I don't mean one particular company, but like, are there like your top 4 or 5 favorites that I could, like, you know, I took all my chiropractors like Cellcore and Standard Process and Melaleuca. So I've got a good start on putting different things in there, and it comes up different all the time. But what are your favorites?
I use a lot of Mega Food, Nature Sunshine, Purium, Amare. What are some others that I use? Uh, Solgar. I love Solgar because they are a lot of the Solgar vitamins and drops are all methylated already. So I use a lot of those.
I know I saw a thing that if you order on Amazon, you're not getting the same things, because all my B vitamins that I have are actually turning from orange to brown and nasty looking. So
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
I won't order any supplements off of Amazon except I have ordered some Serpentina, which is for high blood pressure. My husband suffers terribly with it. And the only way I could get it was through Amazon, and it seems to be working for him, but it is an herb. So you can't really, and it's one that that you really can't really mess around with. It's already in a tablet form. So I think any of those that are liquids or powders, are not in a capsule, those are a little questionable and you have to really look at the labels. But that's just been my experience. I won't buy anything off of Amazon unless I just have to. If I can find it on eBay or another vitamin company, I will. But Amazon, I typically won't. So, but there's so many good supplements out there, guys. There really is. Uh, I honestly just keep experimenting. And if you're considering going, looking into a supplement line, put it in your scanner before you even have the supplement in there. Go ahead and put in the description of it, the name of it, and then see if it comes up. And if it comes up for you, it's probably one that you need to go ahead and buy. You don't have to have the supplement to scan it in. So, and I did a class on that not too long back, that if there's something maybe you're having a hard time muscle testing and it's just not a clear answer, you can actually go in here. I'll get out of this account and show you my mother's real quick, what we did for her, because we were looking for a black salve. And we had 3 different companies that we were looking at. And mom, stood here and muscle tested several times and she could not get a clear answer. I couldn't get a clear answer. So I thought it was really strange. But then, so what we did is I went in here to her supplements and therapies. And then I put in here, down here, and I think it's down here at the bottom. I put these 3 different black salves in a category all by itself. We don't have these. We just put the names of them, the description of what was in them, and the dosage. And then we went over to her quick scan. So you go over here to quick scan, and let's say you do midday. The only thing that we checked, we unchecked the midday and we just checked the black salve. We ran the scan. And then what came up is what we got for her. And I think we got Zenith Labs for her. But it was very shocking. Every time we scan, it's the same one that keeps coming up for her. See, it came up against Zenith Labs. So that was a telltale sign to us. That's the one we needed to buy. So that's the one she purchased. So that is just one thing that you can do to kind of help take the guesswork out. Well, which ones are good for me? It is a lot of work to put in stuff that maybe you don't have, but it's there and you can add it to your clients if you want. So it's really, there's not a big loss if you don't use that. Just go ahead and put it in there and let the scanner analyze it. Does that help? Any other questions or help? And Gina in the chat says, from her studies in functional medicine, besides the ones that were named designs for health, integrative therapeutics, and pure encapsulations are good. I really don't know what that means. Maybe that's the Amazon stuff.
I think those are just additional brands.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, Tammy, my name's Andrea Martin, and
Hi, Andrea.
Hello, I'm fairly new to the scanner. I'm a functional nutrition counselor and health coach. I have a question. I have a client who has AFib, and we are working, on a number of different things. I'm diving into how to read the scans, all that good stuff. Done some extra training, but I've imprinted the bracelet with some of the things out of the different things that we can imprint with. Is there anything specific that you would recommend for that? It seems to be stress induced a lot of times. But we're trying to knock that out so that it's not an issue.
One of the things that I would do, and you'll be able to pick this out, is I would definitely run the body systems on this particular person and look at what comes up in the body systems. And if it is stress, then one of the biggest things that I would do is either run some Cephi playlist for, managing that stress. broadcasting it for that person for some time, but also imprinting, maybe some pellets to send with this person so that they could be taking it throughout the day.
Okay.
Because the thing with the frequencies, Andrea, is the more that you imprint and and then the person takes and then they have something that they're wearing and then you're broadcasting it for them, it's like a triple coverage, so to speak. So it really does help people. It really does give a lot of support to a person when you're doing all of everything.
All
Does
of
that
it.
make sense?
Right. Well, and I've been doing the broadcast, but we've not done the pellets. And they're also wearing the X39 patch. I've got Cephy dots, but I've not done those yet. So I need to do that too.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm learning all of this. This is
Well, sure.
fascinating. So I just didn't know if you had any extra input.
The only input I've got is just to really be, doing a broad spectrum type thing with your client, doing everything. And then really trying, even really working with them on their breath work and things like that, because if it's stress induced, they need to figure out how to lower that stress overload.
Right.
But I would really pay attention to the inner voice scan as well as the body system scan, and then you can also scan and optimize, different areas in the comprehensive and in the body systems to help them, to support them.
Right. Yeah. And I've been doing that, and I've unlocked the database so we can see
Good.
history and all that. So I'm working on it.
And then also working with maybe an emotion code and body code or an EFT, somebody that does EFT or teaching them EFT. That's going to help this person. I think EFT tapping is amazing for the stress levels.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
that will really check them in, and then encouraging them to take some time to meditate every day. That is huge. I know I have a high stress too, and I have to make myself go meditate and just ground and do all those things.
Yeah, it all makes a huge difference.
It does.
Yeah, for sure. And those are all some things we've talked about, and
Yeah.
Trying to implement all of it is, it's not
Yep.
always easy, but
It is.
so, okay. Thank you.
Gina, the X39 patch is a stem cell patch from another company. It's not from this company. And a lot of us as practitioners love these patches. They're phototherapy patches. You can reach out to one of us after the call, but that is something that we all use kind of interchangeably with because it's all frequency medicine. Even the patches are too. So, Severin, go ahead and ask a question, dear. Good morning.
Hello from Canada. So I have a question, so I arrived when you were talking about the supplements, how to enter them into the scanner.
Mhm.
So that's perfect. I understand that. But my question is, can you imprint a supplement that you don't have, that comes up all the time in your scanner without buying it? Because here in Canada, Health Canada is very annoying in the sense that they are shutting down so many supplements like the LifeWave. It's getting more and more difficult to get healthy things here in Canada, and buying it from the States, it costs us a lot because of the rate exchange. So for example, there's a Nervine that I would like to try. It's called the Blue Vervin, because my nervous system is either in a freeze mode or in a shutdown mode, and I want to get out of that mode because I can't function anymore. It's annoying and it's tiring. But before buying it, so of course I will enter that into the scanner to see if it comes up like every day. But can I imprint that into a pellet even if I don't have it, so I don't have to buy it? If you do
Without
understand what I
having
mean.
it, yeah, I do understand what you mean. In fact, this question has come up several times. I don't think at this time that we can, but I think that Solex is working on a workaround for that, for those that that would like to do that because we have the frequencies of so many things. Now, what you can do, and I've not played around with this option yet, but I have noticed that there is a area down here, and I really need to play with it. But if you go in here to add a supplement, let me go down here. Down here at the very bottom, there's different supplement facts and different things in here. And I don't know if adding that up in there, if that would give you the option to actually, I don't think it will. The more I think about it, I don't think it will.
Okay.
At this point, I don't think that we can. You can invite, now I'm gonna go on a little stretch here, and you're gonna have to follow me here. Write the name of the supplement on a piece of paper, on a clear piece of white paper, no lines. Stick it underneath a bottle of water. This is what we do with homeopathy. If we don't have the actual supplement or the actual remedy, you write the name of the remedy, you put it under a bottle of water, leave it there for at least, about 6-8 hours, and then succuss that bottle of water. When I mean succuss, I mean I'm taking that bottle of water, and you need to leave a little bit of spot in there. Let me just show it to you so you know what I'm talking about. But the reason why you want to do this is because you're actually increasing the frequency of whatever you've written on that piece of paper. So if you want a stronger supplement, then you would actually just take your bottle of water after you've set it on that piece of paper and leave a little bit of air in the bottle of water, and then just hit it on the bottom of your hand at least 100 times, and then you can sip that water throughout the day. That is one way you could do it, but that's, it's all about intention.
Yeah, I see. Okay, perfect.
And until they come out with, the ability to actually add a supplement in without even having it, like, I've done in the past, and then it has a button where it says imprint. I have a feeling they'll eventually do that, and I've heard Lauren talk about it when people ask, but it's just not there yet. And
Okay,
maybe during
perfect.
discovery it will be.
No, but I hope so, because honestly, it's expensive
Right,
to buy it, and as I said, to buy it from the States and to ship it to Canada, it's getting more and more expensive.
mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get rid of all the supplements that I have in my cabinet because we have too much. That's the big issue. I like the scanner because you know what you need, but
Right.
we bought so many supplements in the past because we try, let's try this one, let's try this one.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, your cabinet is full of supplements. You don't use them anymore. You're like,
Right.
oh, and it's a waste of money.
Yeah, I feel the same way. That's why I love the scanner. You're able just to put it in there and figure out which ones. I have a ton in my library that don't even come up anymore, so I'm just tossing them. It's like I don't need them, so just it's nice to get rid of stuff that's just kind of sitting there. So
Yeah, exactly. And if I may, I have another question.
Sure.
For the frequencies, I've created some playlists, and I would like to know, do I have to include energy clearing and energy shield in every playlist?
you do not. It's just something that, like, if I'm doing, let's say, something for, a behavioral issue or something like that, or something that you feel that is kind of keeping on attacking you. Maybe you're dealing with something like, uh, do you understand what I'm saying? If you're dealing with something that you just can't seem to get a handle on, I always put clear and shield in it. But when I do my scans, that is the first thing I do every morning. I get in here, I go here, and I clear myself first.
Yeah.
And then I do my scanning. Then I'll shield myself once I'm done. And if I do any work on anybody, I always clear myself first,
Yes.
shield myself, and then I'll work on whoever.
Okay, because created a playlist, some playlist, and I put energy clearing and energy shield, and I'm like, should I keep them in the playlist? Like for abundance and things like that, I'm like, maybe I should remove it. But I'm still learning.
Yeah. And play around with it, Severin, because you may find that you don't need it in there since you're already doing your, scans. But I will typically always do it with somebody that doesn't have a scanner. That way it keeps them energetically protected, if that helps.
Yeah, because I only do that on my husband and the girls.
Right. And that's a good rule of thumb. It really is. But since you have the scanner and you have that ability to clear and shield, I wouldn't see the need to do that in your playlists.
Okay, perfect. Honestly, the girls love the scanner. My youngest got bit by mosquitoes. Oh my God, it's crazy here. And she was like, Mommy, do the scanner, please. And even all night long, I'm tired
Yeah.
of the bites.
Yeah.
But it's nice because she's 6 years old and she understands that it's very helpful.
Kids love it. Kids and animals, because even my girls, my two little
I know,
dogs,
I know your
they
puppies.
always come in the office because they like being around whatever this is.
No, I know, and they really do understand energies, and
They do.
because they don't have the same they're not in a freeze mode or shutdown mode. We let them embrace and embody their emotions and things like that, so we let them feeling the energy around instead of no, shut it down, you don't need to feel it. No, live it, embody it. It's nice.
Yeah. I agree. All right, Deidre.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Deidre, you have a question?
I do. Thank you, Tammy. I have two actually, and I'm very new to the scanning, and so far I'm pretty much just running the scans on myself and my sister.
Good.
So I'm thank you for that information on the clearing and the shielding.
Absolutely.
I'm working on that. So here's my first question. I have sleep issues. I've had chronic sleep issues for decades. So I got super excited. I found the playlists. There was like a picture and there were two playlists on it. I created both of them. And then there was another one for sleep apnea. So night one, I ran the first one, terrible night's sleep. So I'm like, okay. Night two, I ran the second one, terrible night's sleep. And I'm like, okay. Night three, I ran the sleep apnea, terrible night's sleep. So I was like, okay, done with running those at night. Maybe it's too much. And then, so I ran nothing the fourth night, and it came up with insomnia detox under the homeopathic or whatever. So my question for you is, do I keep running them? Or is it that my issue is something else, more like maybe emotional, so that these are, working the opposite way? What are your thoughts on that?
That would be definitely a look into maybe your inner voice and your body system scan, just to see what keeps consistently showing up. And if you're seeing, manage stress or, work on your sleep or whatever, then which one it is. But it could very well be a microbiome issue. It just depends on what your reports are saying. I would take, several days of fasting reports, kind of look through those, maybe with just the classic view since you're so new, and seeing what items are constantly and consistently out of range, and seeing if you can connect those dots, because sometimes you know yourself better than anybody else does.
Okay.
And then just really working on sleep hygiene. I don't know anything about you, but as a holistic health coach and a healer, that is one of the things that I work with my clients is sleep hygiene, making sure that you're in a very, very dark room, that it's cold, there's no electronics in the room, that you're getting, your bedtime ready about 2 hours prior to going to bed without any I mean, there's a lot of things that you have to consider to work on sleep. And sometimes the people that are chronically having sleep issues, they've got to get to a strict bedtime routine, or their body will never acclimate. So you'll always have
Yeah,
issues.
I don't think it's that, because I also educate people on sleep hygiene. And like, I have had issues since before electronics were even a thing.
Okay.
So I think that it's,
Maybe
and the
emotional.
microbiome may be interesting because a lot of that does come up, and I'm scanning all my supplements, and it's really surprising the amount of digestive enzymes and things that are I'm scanning for and that are coming up. So I will do the fasting. That's a great idea. And I will really kind of hone in on the other things.
I would.
And my guess, my hunch is that as the emotional clears, this will, because I think that is a big part of it. So can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Okay. So with my scans, and again, I'm new. I ran my first comprehensive, and I was actually scared because I thought I was literally like on death's doorstep, because like stroke came up, heart came up, arteries, veins, all this stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it scared me into actually breaking my relationship with sugar. And my addiction and all that. So what I've been hearing these last kind of few days is about running the scans and optimizing. So I've been running the scans every day. I've been doing like, the glasses, I've been listening to the music, I've been taking my supplements, but I feel like there's a whole other aspect of the healing work that I have not tapped into with the running the scans and the optimizing, other than the once a day. Is there something else I should be doing to help restore my, I don't know, homeostasis is the right word, but my balance?
Let me tell you my experience, and whenever I got into this, guys, and this might help. When I had come into the scanner, I had just gotten myself off of 330 milligrams of morphine 3 times a day, and also Oxycontin. I was in a pain med frenzy. I'd been in there for almost 10 years. So getting myself off of that, I was still a mess. I had a lot of mental issues that were going on from my past. And when I got my scanner, what I was doing is all we had was vitals, comprehensive, inner voice, and Cepheid. That was all we had when we first got our scanners. So what I would do is I would run my inner voice upwards to 6 and 7, maybe sometimes even more a day. And I was listening to my new tones several times a day. By month 3, it takes a while, because you guys got to realize this is subtle energy. This is not like a powerful rifle machine that if you go and hold the plasma tubes and you use that for an hour, that you're zapping something immediately. This is very subtle. So doing this work over and over, by month 3, my husband came to me and he said, all you're doing is a scanner thing? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, and I thought, why? And he goes, no reason. By month 6, my husband said, I don't know what you've been doing. He said, but you've completely turned back to the woman that I remember and I love and that I married. Because I was in such a funk, you guys, that I'd been in and out of psych wards. I was having lots of mental problems, but I'm an only child, have lots of abuse in my past. So there was a lot of emotion and trauma that I was dealing with, but that inner voice work was magical for me. The other thing is I was doing my vitals every day, but I had to back off and do it every 3rd day because I was having healing crises or Herxheimer's. I was having toxins releasing. So I backed off of that, but I got to where what my normal practice is every day is doing the inner or the easy scan every day. And I also do my vitals probably once a week. And I also do my body systems probably, I would say about every 2 weeks is when I do it. So just scanning and optimizing. I really don't look at my reports unless I've got something that I know I've got to work on. So then I'll start doing an analyzation of my own reports. But that is
so
kind of
if
what
I
I do.
understand, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
If I understand correctly, you're holding off on the vitals, and that might be what was happening with the sleep. I was running it too often, and
Yeah.
maybe I was just like, I felt like the thing was buzzing in my head during the night.
Yes.
So maybe
Yes.
there was too much going on. So go back and do the inner voice.
Inner voice you can do as often as you want.
But when you do the easy scan, doesn't that run? Oh, it doesn't that run a vitals again and a
does.
comprehensive?
It does, but the easy scan is a much gentler hit than doing the full vitals or the full comprehensive all by itself. So if I go back here, well, what happened to my, there we go. So if I, this one and this one, you don't want to be running all the time, but the easy scan is a gentler hit. It's not, that's the reason why Lauren said on last week's call that you want to run your full vitals and your full well, not full comprehensive, but this combined comprehensive, you want to run that about once a week, all by itself. You don't want to do this custom scan, but maybe once every 6 months to a year. It's too big of a, your body needs time to find the homeostasis and to use those frequencies. So if you use this all the time, like more than, a few times a week, you're going to feel the effects of that your body's just like in a scramble mode. It doesn't know what to do with all those frequencies. You've got to give
I think
time.
that's what I'm doing.
Could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just for the newbies here, just repeat what we should be doing every day. And if we need, if you would, thank you.
If you're not, now I've got somebody that also lives in Canada that is very, very, how do I want to put it? She's very sensitive to frequencies. So at first I told her, do her easy scan every day. She was doing her easy scan, then she was having toxic, backlash on that. And I said, okay, back down. But if you can handle it, do easy scan every day. Then do your inner voice multiple times a day if you're dealing with something. You can rerun that inner voice. Let's say you go to the grocery store and somebody cuts you off in traffic and it just makes you explode, and do your inner voice. Listen to those tones again, because there's something emotional that's upsetting you. If some, you learn of a sad story or something and that really upsets you, do your inner voice. Or maybe you're just not feeling right. Do your inner voice. You can do that as often as you wish. Then do your vitals, your combined comprehensive, maybe once a week. Check those reports, email them to yourself. Do your body systems. You can do those once a week. It just really helps. So that is kind of my rule of thumb. If you don't have time to do your easy scan, then you have your quick scan just to find out what your supplements are for the day, and at least do that. At least take your supplements for the day. Does that help?
It does. And one other quick thing along with that, I'm scanning my sister. So we're trying to figure it out. So I have her like on FaceTime, and then I have this here. Can she send me a little clip?
Absolutely.
How does it work?
Yeah, when I do work with people with inner voice, I do monthly inner voice packages with them. And what they do is they either call my cell phone, leave me a message, a 10-second clip, or they do it through Facebook and leave me their 10-second clip through there. And then I run the scan, send them the report. I just sit here. There's nothing. I mean, you don't have to have them on the phone. You don't have to have them on a Zoom. You can just run it and send the report. And then if you want to connect with them later and discuss things, you can do that. But you have the freedom to do that.
Perfect. And if someone screws up, I hate to say screws up, but they don't start with I am. They say, hi, I am, or it's all good, right?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, because we even have kids that are autistic and nonverbal, and we're using their breathing or their crying or their grunting. It's better if you do I am. If you're an adult and can do that, you're going to get a much better result with that. But, even animals don't say anything, and we're doing inner voice for them with their tone. So.
And do we have to be sticklers for headphones? Like, can we just listen on speaker?
I wear mine when I do scan myself, unless I'm in a pinch, and then I just scan without it. But I feel like I get a better result if I wear my bone conductors and if I'm listening to my tones and wearing my glasses. So yes, I would encourage you to do that, but no, it's not critical. Even playing the music out loud is going to help you, even if you can't wear your bone conductors. You're still going to get benefit. Some frequencies are better than none, is my motto.
And what about the people in your space that are hearing your music?
You'll get
It's
some
not
residual.
detrimental to them. It's just neutral, right? For them.
Yeah, and honestly, if there's some frequency that they're getting that your body resonates with, you're going to get the benefit of that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. Any other questions or feedback?
I have a question. Can you
Sure.
do you do the vitals and the comprehensive, like via them sending you your voice and all that? How do you feel? How accurate do you think that is?
Okay. Say that again.
Like, do you do the vitals and the comprehensive, like, without somebody that's like actually in your office, like over the, them just sending you their voice and their picture?
Oh yeah, I do that.
active
I've done that
is
over
like that?
thousands and thousands of people. Yes.
Okay, and you feel like it's pretty accurate?
Yeah, almost everybody I've ever worked with. I can give you a example of a girl I did in Greece, and she's actually on our team. When I first scanned her, and I was so new, guys, that I did not even know to ask these questions, but now I ask them. But when I first started scanning people, overseas or, far away, I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? So I was just doing it. And I did it on WhatsApp. I would have somebody on WhatsApp with me and I would scan. And I'll tell you, we did her inner voice. I sent her that report. And this is again at a time when we didn't have easy scan. So I did her inner voice, sent that to her, started the vitals on her, scanned her. And when I scanned her, the first part of the scan is the biofeedback part of it. She goes, I can feel that. And I'm like, really? She goes, yeah. And I went, okay, great. So then when I hit the optimize button, all of a sudden I hear her start coughing and then the phone goes dead. And I'm like, well, where did she go? She was like, well, maybe we just had a bad. Oh, she even said, I got to go. Bye. Like that. And I'm like, well, heck, what happened? She messaged me 48 hours later. I did not hear from her. She messaged me 48 hours later and she goes, Tammy, I think I had a detox reaction to that vital scan. She goes, and I've got fatty liver and I've got non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. And I'm like, oh, gee. And she was very, very sensitive. So that is something now that I'm very cautious about when I work with people, remotely. I'm always asking them, have you ever worked with frequencies before? Do you have any health conditions that I need to know about that maybe, if I send you good positive frequencies, your body might go into detox mode. I just want to make sure. So I'm very good about asking people, about their sensitivity level. So that is one story I got to let you know that remotely this works amazing. It still reaches them. They feel it.
Right. Okay. And with the detox, don't we want them detoxing? So do you help them through that? I mean, do you run the detox stuff on them or how do you do that?
Yeah. Now I do. But, at the very beginning, we didn't have those available. We didn't have, the detox Cephis and things like that.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Vicki, I have an email that I send people prior to scanning them, and I'm happy to share that if anybody wants to just email me if that's what you mean. And I don't have checklists. I do have a couple of checklists, but I'm in the middle of changing what I'm asking. So, but I do have a beautiful email that I send people prior to ever sending a report, because I want to kind of explain to them what are we doing here, especially people that don't know frequencies. And the email just kind of explains to them, hey, this is not diagnostic. It's kind of a fun little email. So I'll send it to anybody that would like it. Just email me and say, give me your AO email and I'll send it to you. I put my email in the chat, so you guys are welcome to email me and ask me for it. I'm going to go in here and look at some of these questions. Vicki, on the bottle of water, typically I'd rather do a glass bottle, but this one I've let off gas for quite a while, and it's one that I use with my homeopathy. But it would be fine to use plastic as long as it's not something brand new. I would never use bottled water, by the way. Let me see if anybody else got some questions. And Jeannie, you're welcome. It's not about what teams you're on. I'm here to help. So I've been doing this for going on my 3rd year. Okay, I think I answered all the questions in the chat. Any other questions or things you need help with?
Tammy, I have a question.
Sure.
When you have something that comes up that doesn't flag on vitals, let's say thyroid, and so it doesn't flag on the vitals, and then on comprehensive, let's say it doesn't flag, it comes up in one area, but then it'll, in comprehensive, you could have, say, like your thyroid in different spots comes up, I think 2 different areas.
Right.
And I just want to say I'm on a back road in South Carolina, so I might get disconnected, but hopefully not. But
Yeah,
I
you're
just want
kind
to
of
let you
cutting
know.
out just a little bit, but
So what? So I just had a question about that. If y'all, not sure if you heard my question.
I heard bits and pieces of it. So what are you asking about the thyroid? If it doesn't come up, what about it?
Say if it shows it's balanced in vitals and comprehensive and in some areas, but then say on the comprehensive, I think it comes up twice. One time it'll come up balanced or, good, I guess, and then it'll show in a different area in comprehensive that it's like a 9 or something like that. And so it seems like it contradicts itself. I know it doesn't, but what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so for example, if you know that you've got thyroid issues and maybe you're seeing, maybe it started out as maybe an 8, now it's a 5. Well, it's because you scan and optimize. You gave your body the frequencies to use it, so then the body used it, now it balanced. Now, prior to scanning, I would look at that before you actually did the optimization, so you know that the thyroid was off if you've got a 9 there. But if, let's say, you've got a 5 and a 5, it may be because you've been working on this for some time. And it may show that it's balanced for today because, number one, maybe you haven't eaten something that has affected you, maybe no stress has affected you, maybe it's showing balanced at that very time or snapshot in time, but that doesn't necessarily, remember, our scanners are not diagnostic. So it's something that you want to watch over a period of time, and those are the things you want to address. But I wouldn't put a lot of weight or reliance on, if you know good and well you got a thyroid issue and you're seeing that it's balanced, it's probably because of the things that you're doing. It would be my thoughts on that. Does that help?
The question is, like, in the same report, like in the same comprehensive report, it'll show like an item 2 different places.
You're cutting out, hun. I just cannot hear you.
Tammy, I think I understand what she's trying to say.
Okay, go ahead.
There's 2 areas where a same organ or item will show up, and in one area of the report it's showing that it's balanced, but then in the other area it's showing it's not balanced. And is that a contradiction? She was trying to figure out why the same item will show up either balanced or unbalanced in the same report, not on the same item. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'd have
Exactly.
to see an example of what you're showing to be able to, because sometimes you have to look at the whole picture, not just one item. Because it may be that maybe it's showing that it's balanced in an area because it borrowed from some other area. You know, it could be that. And maybe the area that's still out of balance, it just didn't have enough strength to borrow to get it up to par. Does that make sense? Because it's all about frequencies and how the body's using it. Does that help?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to look at the whole picture, because if, let's say it is the thyroid, maybe the adrenal glands, are mixed in there, because those are part of your endocrine. And maybe, maybe look at the adrenal and see if it's completely balanced where this is still not balanced. So it's kind of a set in order. What are we looking at here? That you want to look at the whole picture.
Yeah, I'll have to, I'll try to get a good example, and
Okay.
when we do this next time, I'll be able to provide that for clarification. Yeah. I'm
That
so
would help
sorry.
me.
I'm sorry it was breaking up and everything.
That's okay.
The
That's
other
okay.
thing is, on the stress is grounding.
Yes.
Grounding outside and getting your sunlight and everything is the best.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, also like a grounding sheet, as long as you have, that is actually grounded, and you have a compressor, not a compressor, what do you call it? To make sure there's no dirty electricity in the outlet.
Oh, capacitor.
Capacitor. As long as you have that, but that's phenomenal for stress.
Most definitely. Vicki, you're asking about, would you recommend a scan for a hotel room as we check in? Absolutely. I do this every time. I'll get my hotel room, and I think I just erased mine out of here. But I had a bunch of hotel rooms in here, and I went ahead and went, because it was taking forever for my spaces and objects to upload. So I went ahead and erased the ones that I had in here, but I always put in a hotel room. I'll take the picture of it, and then I clear it, I shield it, because if I don't, the next day, guess what shows up on my scan? Bed bugs. Always bed bugs. Okay, what other questions? Spaces and objects, guys. You need to put stuff in here. Even when I travel through different states, I put the states in here, and I'll run Cephis while I'm going through that state. So go ahead, whoever's got their hand raised.
It's me, Severin.
Go for it, Severin.
Do you put your car, your lovely car, in your
I do.
scanner as well?
I do. I put my bank account in there. I put my car, my house, the things that I want, the things that I'm shooting for. I put it all in there. Put my water in there.
Okay, so for your car, like you do always energy clearing and energy shield and things like that.
Yep.
So every day when I take my car, I should do that, because just the other day I nearly had 2 car accidents in like 20 minutes. It was crazy.
Yep. I tell you, I travel a lot in my car, and I have not come across any type. The one time that I did, it was Michelle and I were headed out to Utah. It was our first trip, and her and I were talking, and I forgot to put Utah in because we were actually in Utah. We got on a backed up accident for almost 3 hours. We were stuck in the mountain. And that was the one time I had not put my scanner on Utah and was running stuff in my glove box while we were going down the road. But every other time that I travel, now I make sure that I always put my scanner on my vehicle or in the state that I'm running through, and we never have issues.
Yeah, but you need the Wi-Fi for that, no?
I have a hotspot, and I actually have Wi-Fi in my car.
Yeah, because we are traveling to the United States next month, and we're going to Virginia Beach. So I should do that. Thank you. That's a good thing, because we're staying in different hotels, and we're going to, of course, drive across several states and things like that. So I have another question, my face is oily, and I have acne, and I have like an oil that I like, and if I want to imprint, like to imprint some, sorry, if I want to add something to my oil, for my face and imprint it, must I always put it in a glass, or because
It's
sometimes
better
you buy.
it's better if you can, but I will tell you that our Solex, I forget the name of it now. I've got the bottle up here. I've used 2 bottles of it, but it's not my favorite thing to, oh, the Bright. The Bright is in a plastic bottle, but it has a Cybin bead in it, which holds the frequency, but you can imprint that. So if you can get any of the little Cybin beads that come out of either the chapstick or maybe the Bright, you can pull it out of there, put it in your facial cream, and that will hold the frequency longer.
Okay, because all the creams and things like that are in plastic bottles. That's the big issue. So even if I scan that,
just erase it. Just go ahead and erase that, because plastic will hold on to some kind of negative frequencies. Just go ahead and erase it first and then imprint it with whatever. But you would have to probably imprint it unless you protect that bottle with some foil. You'd probably have to imprint that every day.
okay, not a problem. I don't mind doing that every day. It's just that I find it very fascinating what you can do with the scanner.
Yeah.
And oh, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions or anything else I can help with? Great call, guys.
Can I ask what the Cybin is? I'm not quite sure what we're talking about there.
Yeah, in all of our wearables, Alice, Lauren has got the rights to Cybin, and it is actually a kind of like black tourmaline, because we even our wearables have black tourmaline and Cybin that have been infused in our wearables. So it's something that holds a frequency. Solex has the rights to all the Cybin. Lauren has made sure of that. So we're the only company that has the real Cybin out there. So all of our bracelets, all of our wearables, what's in the chapstick and the Bright, and also our soap, I think, and there's a few other things. Everything has Cybin in it so that you can imprint it and it'll hold that frequency.
So is it a stone or
Yeah, it's kind of like a stone. There's information in our back office. You can read about it, where it came from. I think there was a slideshow back there.
Oh, okay. I'll
I
go
think
there.
it's in the documents and media, but look for the body is a miracle. No, I forget there's a pamphlet, and it'll tell you exactly where it comes from. It comes
Awesome.
from China, I believe.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions or things that I can help with?
I do have a comment also on the basic training.
Uh-huh.
It needs to come with a warning label that says, don't judge the phase university level courses with the basic, because when I started on the basic, my first 3 tests, I was ready to trash it and say, I will never do any training with this company.
Oh,
It was bad.
No.
Very bad experience, but now I
Oh.
understand that they are redoing the videos, they're redoing the notes and the quizzes, and
They are.
I'm now in phase 1, and it is so professionally done, so beautifully. It's just great. I'm very happy.
Good. Okay, so here's the Ionix Power Body Protection PowerPoint, Alice, and then also the trifold. So this is going to
Awesome.
tell you where that Cybin comes from, and it'll tell you the history of it and all that. So it is still
Okay.
back there.
So it's got to do with the negative ions. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. It's our dog collars have it in it. Everything's, all of our wearables have it in there.
Yeah, I kept seeing that, and I wasn't sure if it was an abbreviation for something. I haven't been able to, deep dive into that. So I really appreciate this.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions or anything else I can help you with? No questions too big or too small?
So I guess this is just coming to me. You're saying that the Cybin come in even the little chapsticks, so we don't throw anything away. We tear it apart and get those Cybin out, right?
Yes, yes, because down in the bottom of the tube of the chapstick, you'll see a little bead in there. Take that
Okay.
bead and hang on to it because you can stick that bead and, other little bottles of liquid or whatever, and that will help you, maintain the frequency in that item for a little longer.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Any other questions or anything else I can help with? Does everybody know how to use this imprint button? It's kind of a fun thing to do too.
I'm learning imprinting. So imprinting, even on the custom playlist where you have that 2-second imprint and you've made your own playlist.
Mhm.
What I'm understanding is I can lay my ring on that list and hit the 20-second imprint, and it's going to imprint those frequencies without that fractal video
Yep.
thing
Yes, ma'am.
into. So if I don't have anything to imprint into, and I do that 20-second imprint, if I'm intentioning that to just go in me, as opposed to the 2-minute or the continuous broadcast, is that where it's going? Is that what's happening?
Yep.
Okay.
You got it. You got it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
This is what sold me
Yeah.
on the AO scanner, was the ability to imprint. I mean,
I
that is
know.
just, it's massive.
It is massive. And even this imprint button, this little orange one that you have, a lot of people don't utilize that enough. And, you can actually take, whatever you want to put into something. Let's say, that this could be, maybe a vitamin that upsets your stomach or something. You can take the vitamin and put it down here and put your homeopathic pellets up here, or maybe your smoothie for the day, or maybe your glass of water. Put your glass of water up here, hit the button, and it's going to transfer the frequency of that vitamin that upsets your stomach, and it puts it in your water or your smoothie or whatever, and you're drinking that frequency then. So make sure to utilize that as well.
I actually did that with a product whose formulation they changed.
Yeah.
And I got the ingredients of the original formulation, wrote it on a piece of paper,
Good.
put it on there, and then put my capsules on the other side and imprinted
Yep.
the original back into it.
Yeah. There's so many fun things that you can do with this. So be very imaginative. And if you think it's woo-woo, it's probably can be done on the scanner.
You're
So
a hoot.
I love it. All right. Anybody else got anything before we wrap it up? Here's your chance.
Tammy, have you ever run a scan on somebody that is coming back from, say, Europe, and they're going through, what is it, when your meridians or your sleep channels are all messed up because you're crossing the
Circadian
times.
rhythm. Yeah.
Yeah, or jet lag. I guess
Yeah.
that's what I'm.
I personally have not run on anything like anybody like that, but I haven't ever been asked. And I never fly, so I haven't had much experience with that, but I'm sure that, you can do this with anybody. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely, give them some energetic stuff to help them through and support them that way. Broadcast a playlist for them to help them recoup from that, to support them.
Is there something we can put jet lag into that, and it'll show us what we need to do? How would we find the word jet lag in our system?
Well, I don't know if it's in the homeopathic part of it. But jet lag is, I would just go through each of the frequencies, put fatigue in there, because jet lag is also fatigue. There's several frequencies that you could use, but I don't know if, let's just check the homeopathic. I don't really use the symptom checker too much on the homeopathic because I know homeopathy so well. But let's just see if it's in there. Nope. No, it's not in there. But that would be one thing that you could Google and find out what homeopathic pellet would work best for jet lag. And I would probably say, Arnica montana or arsenicum. Those two would be the top two I would choose. And then I would just go in here and put in some supportive frequencies for them. And build something out with that. I would actually put energy in there, maybe breathe free, health, strength, and recovery. Those would be the things that I would put in there. And then go into each category and just see, and if you could muscle test and find out, maybe ask them what their symptoms are, and then put those in a playlist.
Great.
And if you can imprint some pellets and give to them, that's even going to be a better approach.
And when they take the pellets, is it best to put it underneath the tongue and let it sit
Yes.
there?
Yes. You don't want to touch the pellets, and you don't want to be eating or drinking anything 15 to 20 minutes prior to taking them and after taking them, except for water. Water you can drink, but you don't want to be around any essential oils, especially like the menthol and the peppermints and things like that. Those will negate your homeopathy, things like that.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's see. And Andrea, I have these calls every Saturday, and typically they're training calls. This one I just opened up because I'm getting ready to leave for leadership next week. I'll be in Utah next weekend for the leadership retreat. So I've just I was going to do a series on how to read your reports, some simple ways. But I kind of opened this up for a little different because I want to spend a little extra time on those reading reports and helping people. So those are probably going to be a little bit longer Zooms because I'm putting together some material right now to help. But anyway, I do offer this every Saturday. We are going to open up a business on a Monday, a business call on Mondays for those of you that want to learn how to make money with the scanner. We're going to start doing that on Mondays. And then on Wednesdays, before the Solex call, 1 hour prior to the Solex call, we have a testimonial call that you guys can invite your interested ones in. And we always ask that whoever is there on that call to come to follow up with the person that invited them. So there's 3 calls right now, or 2 calls that we do. Let me I'm looking at the chat, you guys. Okay. Any other questions? Any other comments? Anything you need help with before I close? This was an amazing call, by the way, guys. And this will be up on my YouTube. You guys can refer to it. I have my YouTube channel. There's lots of training on there. Solex has theirs. There's several people on my team, that do amazing teaching. So you can jump on their calls too. We're all very generous with, offering help to everybody out there. I have to brag a little bit because we have the largest Solex team. So, and we just love on everybody. So you guys are welcome to join.
And it is appreciated.
Well, thank you so much. We just love Solex, and we love what this device does. So we want everybody to have one eventually. We don't care if you're on different teams. It's not anything about that. All right, guys. So if there's not anything else, we'll end it, and I won't see anybody next weekend, but I'll be coming back on. I think it's the 25th of. No, I won't be here the 25th either. I have an event here in Oklahoma City to be at to share with the thermography. So it'll be starting in July, I believe. We'll be back in July.
I have a lot of people in Enid, Oklahoma who would love that thermography.
Oh, well, we're having that event in Oklahoma City. Tell them that they can come and hear me talk about it.
Okay.
I'm deciding on whether or not I can take it and, you know, set it up over there because it is heavy. The
Mm,
stand is heavy.
yes.
But I haven't completed my test pictures yet. I've got to call Solex. There's a miscommunication with the camera and the computer, but I just haven't had time. But I'll get there. But
Well,
I will be speaking.
I can tell you that they have had somebody come in from out of state and do them in Enid, and I'm
Oh.
sure that would be an opening for you. I'll hook you up with Sherry.
Okay, perfect. I'd love to do that. Love to. All right, guys. Well, anything else that I can help you with? It's 11:11, by the way. In my place.
Amazing call today, Tammy. Thank
Oh,
you
good.
so
I'm glad
much.
you enjoyed it. Glad you enjoyed it. All right, guys. Well, you guys have an incredible rest of your weekend, and I'll see y'all in a couple of weeks.
Bye,
Or
guys.
come on Wednesday call. We'll have our Wednesday call for sure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.